Okay, from a standstill again. That was so much burnout. Dude, the suspension is just amazing. This thing is an off-road beast. Guys, it absolutely blows my mind how cheap power and speed has gotten. A few years ago, a bike that could go over 30 miles per hour and would have dual motors would probably cost upwards of $3,000. But not this bike behind me. The listing says this bike has some impressive power and has some pretty good top speed. I don't even know how companies can profit these days with having such good e-bikes for a pretty decently low price. Seriously, how do they do it? Like, what the What is going on, my beautiful raspy riders? Today we are going to be taking a look at the Amyet S8 dual motor e-bike. This bike has two motors and can push out some serious power and can possibly even reach speeds up to 35 miles per hour. It also has pegs down here, so you might even be able to fit a second rider. Just those two aspects alone makes this a very cool bike in my opinion. The current listing price for this bike is going to be $1,099. And if you guys are interested, I'm going to have a $50 discount code for you in the description. But before you do anything, we're going to have to test out this bike. So in this video, we are going to be testing the top speed. We're going to do a brake test, a hill climb test, and we're even going to try to fit a second passenger with us. Oh, snap. Caught that bad boy. Did you guys see that? It's like I'm Spider-Man. Maybe not quite. First things first, let's go check out our box of goodies, which is pretty much already opened. I guess these two fell out of it. So we got a toolkit, the user manual, and our charger. This will charge our battery all the way up to 54.6 volts, and it is a 3 amp charger. Our battery is a 25 amp hour pack, so we take 25 amp hours and divide that by 3 amps, and it should take about 8.3 hours to charge from 0 to full. Hey look, they even gave us a hand pump. It's always nice when they give us a little pump, but who actually uses this? It would be so tiring to pump up this fat tire with these pumps. At least they were thoughtful. Maybe you can use it to pump up a basketball or something. As always, the first thing we want to do is get to that battery so we can get it charging while we work on the bike. So if we go to our handlebars, and yep, the key is right there. Okay, we got the keys. Now let's get to this bad boy. Let's move the handlebars out the way. Whoops. Okay, this is a pretty decent sized pack. 48 volts and 25 amp hours. Seems pretty accurate for the price range. It's not gigantic, but it's not small. And it is a good size to where you can take it off the bike, put it in your backpack, and take it with you somewhere if you don't want to leave it on the bike while you lock it up. This is actually one of the easier assembly processes that I've gone through, because usually there's a lot more we got to put on. I'm super happy that the headlight is already on, the tail light, the pegs. We do got to put on the pedals, but that's really easy. You just twist them on. So I think that's really it. Just the handlebars and the front wheel. Oh, you know what? The front fender as well, but that's not difficult at all. So I'm going to go charge the battery, get working on this bad boy, and I'll see you guys back at the review. Welcome back, my beautiful people. Let's quickly go over these specs so we can get on the road. So if we're starting down low, we're going to have 160 millimeter rotors front and rear. Usually for a bike this heavy and fast, I would like to see 180 millimeter rotors. But I am happy that they did give us dual piston hydraulic brakes. So that's going to make our brakes feel really smooth and give us some decent stopping power. As you can see behind this rotor, we have our front motor. It's upside down, but it does say 48 volt, 1000 watts. So we're going to have this motor in the front and in the back. The tires we're going to be running are going to be the typical Chow Yang 20 by 4 inch fat tires. It does come with some knobby tread if you do want to take it off-roading, which you might because we do have two motors. I feel like when you have two motors, it's going to shine when it's off-road. Above our tire, we're going to have plastic fenders, and it is attached to our dual crown suspension forks. There's no adjustment knobs, but having these suspension forks should help with absorbing the bumps. It looks like we're getting about 1 inch of travel. Right here, we're gonna have a nice large headlight. And as soon as you turn on the bike, there is a halo ring that turns on. This is gonna be the daytime running light, and it's gonna make you more visible on the road. So it is a nice safety feature. This is what the daytime running light looks like in my garage without any lights on. This is what the headlight turned on. And this is how it looks if you're riding. It looks pretty good. It's pretty bright in my opinion. I think if you're out riding at night, you won't have any trouble seeing the road at all. Coming up to our handlebars, you can see that they are pretty tall. So this should give us a nice comfortable ride because you won't have to be leaning over and getting your shoulders and your triceps tired. Starting from the left side, we're going to have some ergonomical rubber grips. They feel very grippy in the hands and you can rest your palms on this. We're going to have our hydraulic brake levers and they feel really good in the hands. It just feels like you hit a wall, which is a great thing. By the way, I do love that our brakes and the caliper itself are both red. It's going to provide us with some accents that just pop. We have a switch right here to turn on our headlight, our turn signal, and our horn. The horn is actually really loud. And then down here we have an A and B mode. We also have a keypad right here with the plus and minus to go through the speed settings. That's going to be how you adjust your pedal assist modes and your throttle modes. We have a power button and a menu button, and the menu can be used to toggle between the trip and the odometer. Coming down to our display, I still got the film on there. We're going to have a fairly large color display, and it looks like we'll be able to see it in the sun just fine. It shows us our battery life, and right now we have 5 out of 5 battery bars. It also shows us our speed, our pedal assist modes, and our trip and odometer. On the right side of our handlebar, we're going to have our standard 7-speed Shimano shifter and a half twist throttle. Honestly though, on a bike like this with 2 motors, it probably has a ton of power, so you probably don't even need the shifter, because usually you shift through the gears when you want to go uphill and you need to make it easier to pedal. But with 2 motors and all that power, I don't think you're going to need that shifter at all. On top of our frame right here, we're going to have a nice bag, and it is a hard shell, so it's pretty protective. This came with the bike. You can tell by it saying Amyet right here. I really like that they included this because storage on a bike is always needed. There's a good amount of space in here too. You could fit a large water bottle in there, your wallet, your phone, your keys. Shit, you could probably even fit a burrito in there too. It also just gives the bike a cooler look in my opinion. I like it. I like it a lot. And it's pretty sturdy because we do have 4 straps on it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Below our bag, we're going to have our 48 volt, 25 amp hour battery pack. The listing says this should give us 75 miles of range, and that might be possible if you're in the lowest pedal assist setting and you're pedaling to help out the motors. But because you already know, I like to do my spirited riding. I think the range is going to be closer to like 30 miles, and that's my estimation with just throttle only. So that's pretty good for a bike with 2 motors. With the battery in the frame, the bike is going to weigh in at almost 95 pounds. So it's definitely not the lightest bike, but it should feel pretty sturdy and planted when you're riding. Coming back to the seat right here, we do have a long saddle, and it feels pretty good with the foam. I think it's going to be pretty comfortable with us, especially because we can scoot forward and back. I'm 5'6" with a 28-inch inseam, and this is what it looks like when I'm sitting on the bike. I'm not completely on my toes. If I was on my toes, it would look like this. And some bikes, I am on my toes. So this is pretty comfortable. If I do the one-legged lean, I can easily plant one whole foot on the ground. The recommended height is going to be from 5'5" to 6'5". If I scoot all the way to the front, we are going to have plenty of space for a passenger. And what's going to be really nice is that they gave us passenger pegs. I absolutely love that they gave us pegs because you know that saying that goes, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey? To me, it's not about the journey either. It's about the company that we have while we're on that journey. So I'm a huge fan of being able to ride with a second person. It's going to be really cool that I could take my wife or my mom, or if I did have kids, I could probably put my kid back here. Behind our seat, we're going to have a tail light that brightens up when we hit the brakes. This is what the tail light looks like in my garage without any lights on. This is what the brake light looks like. And the turn signals. I like that the turn signals are moving so it can grab people's attention much more easily. Looks pretty good in my opinion. And underneath that, we have a little license plate holder, even though we don't really need a license plate. Coming all the way to the bottom, we have a derailleur guard, our Shimano 20 derailleur, and our 7-speed freewheel right here. which, like I said, I'm probably not going to use, but I might test it out. I do love that this bike does have shocks, and you can actually feel the compression. It doesn't feel too firm or too soft. If you wanted to, it looks like you can even adjust the shocks also. If you don't have the correct tool for this, you can just use pliers, and if you twist it, it'll compress the shocks or decompress it. If you want a more firm ride, you just compress it a bit more, and vice versa if you want a softer ride. And then last but not least, we're gonna have our rear motor, and it's the same as the front, 48 volts, 1000 watts. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for the specs. Let's take this thing out on the road and see how it really performs. Oh, look, we can even take our selfie stick with us and put it inside the bag. It can almost fit all the way. I think we'll be okay. All right, guys, we are outside in the Amyet S8 dual motor. We are currently on speed level 1, and my GPS on the phone says we're getting 15 miles per hour. 16 now. The display and my phone are matching up, so it does seem like the display is accurate. We're currently on single motor mode, and even with one motor, the pull is not bad. It's not bad at all. So if we're getting about 15, 16 miles per hour with one motor, let's see what happens if we switch to 2. Okay, it's the same speed. So dual motor will only affect our acceleration. Maybe the top end once we get to the higher speeds though. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it in dual motor mode. For level 2, we're getting about 18 miles per hour. Let's see level 3. It's climbing, climbing. Level 3, I'm gonna say 26 miles per hour. Before we test out level 4, I do want to take some pictures at the railroad tracks. Just gotta wait for these cars to pass. And right now we are off-roading. Hey, the suspension does feel pretty good though. Those rear shocks are working. I love that they're not too stiff. A lot of times companies will put like 1,000-pound shocks back there, and I won't even be able to tell the difference between a rigid bike versus a suspension one. But with those shocks, I definitely can feel the difference. I'm just gonna take a picture real quick. Well, maybe I should take out my selfie stick. Looks kind of weird in the picture. You gotta love portrait mode, man. It makes every picture look super nice. Since I'm on this dirt path right now and nobody is around me, let's go to the selfie stick so you guys can see my pedal stroke. If you guys want to pedal, this is going to be the only time I pedal this bike. And for the rest of the review after this, I'm going to go to throttle only. All right, here we go. Because I have short legs, the pedaling feels pretty good. If you're a taller rider, gotta be careful. Yeah, if you're a taller rider, then pedaling might not feel this good. But I got little legs, so it feels great. Like, check this out. I'm fully extended right now. I can't keep riding with one hand. This is really scary. Especially on a dirt path. That was enough selfie mode for one day. Dude, single motor is definitely peppy enough for me. If I was commuting with this bike all the time, I would probably just use single motor to save battery and then go to dual if I ever need to conquer any hills. But if we switch to dual right now, you could probably hear the tires spin out. Yep, it's so fun, but scary at the same time. Whoa! Dude, the suspension is just amazing. I get sent a lot of bikes without any rear suspension, so I can really appreciate it when I do have some suspension back there. My butt feels so good right now. This thing is an off-road beast. Woo-hoo. Gotta be careful on those turns when you're using dual motor. I'm gonna switch back to single motor because I'm on the sidewalk right now. All right, guys, let's test out level 4 on single motor mode. 27 miles per hour on level 4. Let's go level 5. Is he gonna climb some more? Looks like we're topping out at 29, 30 miles per hour on level 5, one motor. Next straightaway we have, let's test out level 5 with both motors. Oh, ooh, that is dangerously quick. All right, we're on level 5. Let's go. Amyet S8 speed test. Woo! It's so fast. Oh, 35 miles per hour. And we got there so fast. Okay, let's do that again from a standstill. Dang, that was quick, guys. Just want to wait for some cars to pass. Listen carefully. You might hear the tires burn out. One last car, one last car. 3, 2, 1. Yep, you heard some burnout again. It accelerates so fast. I love it. Oh man, I just love that standstill acceleration. Okay, from a standstill again. That was so much burnout. Okay, maybe if I lean forward. If I sit closer. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, there's less burnout right there. I am already so impressed, even without doing the hill climb test. Let's just ride with traffic. So we are currently on our way to Signal Hill. And that is a tiny little city in the middle of Long Beach. But we're going there because they have the tallest hill in my area. And usually I wouldn't even dare take a e-bike to go test it out over there. But we got dual motors and we are pushing 2,000 watts. So it should be no problem. We made it to Signal Hill. Over there we have a super steep hill. It's not that long in terms of length, but it is super steep. If I was on a regular bike, I would not want to go up that hill. But today we're not on a regular bike. We are on the Amyet dual motor bike. So that means we got to test it out. Okay, so let's go into dual motor mode, level 5. And yeah, let's attack it. Right, 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. We're at the base of the hill right now. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, pull, pull, pull. This is the steepest part right here. 14 miles per hour, 13. Come on, I believe in you. Let's go. We did it, guys. We did it. And we've conquered it. Easy. Oh. Yep, turning is really scary with dual motor. I seriously can't believe how cheap power has gotten. If you guys need a commuter and your area has a ton of hills, you might want to check this bike out. After the discount code, it drops it to $9.99. Dude, $9.99 for something that can destroy hills? That is a no-brainer to me. It is just so impressive. We're climbing it all the way to the top, all the way. Because in front of us, we're gonna have a nice lookout area. Okay, let's do some more off-roading on the grass right here. Yeah, this bike has a lot of power to it. If you are not prepared for that front motor, you gotta be really careful. Check out that view we got. This is Long Beach, guys. The water is right over there. You can see the ocean from here. The ocean and the ports. You see all those cranes? Maybe you guys can't see it, but I see it. All right, guys, we're out of here, and we're gonna go head to the mall so we can do our brake test. But first, we gotta enjoy this hill. Oh, too fast, too fast, too fast. This hill is always so scary to me. Oh, jeez. You know, the nice thing about a bike that can go 35 miles per hour is that I feel comfortable enough to take up a whole lane. Yeah, maybe not on the highway, but on streets where there's a lot of red lights, you know, you can take up the whole lane just fine. Because people can't go that fast anyways. Guys, when I first got into e-bikes and I was shopping around, I saw that there was one main dual motor bike in the market. I mean, there were other ones too, but this is probably the most popular one, and it was the Grizzly. And from what I remember, the Grizzly was like $3,000. So it's kind of crazy to think that this is 1/3 of the cost. It just blows my mind that there can be such expensive options if you want speed and power, but at the same time, there's something so cheap that can provide you with the same. All right, guys, we made it. We are currently here at the mall, and we're gonna go to the parking lot and do our brake test. Okay, usually we see a couple more cars in the parking lot, but since we don't have any good markers on the road, we're gonna use this Slurpee cup. Slurpee? Or is it icy? Same thing, right? Okay, here's the name of the game. I'm gonna ride at around 25 miles per hour. Once I reach this line right here where the cup is at, I'm gonna hit the brakes and see how many car spaces it takes to come to a complete stop. Seems like on average, we stop around 4 to 5. If we go past 6, it probably means that we're gonna die and the brakes are really bad. If we can stop within 3 to 4, that is phenomenal. Average 4 to 5. So let's see what we get. Okay, here we go. Amyet S8 brake test, let's go. Come on, 25, 25, just gotta hold it there. And brake. Woo! That was so much fishtailing. That was really scary. I was just sliding out of control. Okay, how many spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It took us 5 spaces to come to a stop. Should we try it again? Why not? Let's do it again. Okay, here we go, round 2. Oh, I think we did a little bit better, but I was still fishtailing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're in between 4 and 5. So that tells me that the stopping power is pretty average. They work, they're not amazing, but they're not terrible. All right, guys, the only test we need to do still is riding with a passenger. I don't think I have anyone available right now, but let's go see. And if not, then I'm gonna come back on a different day and put my wife on the back. All right, so we are here with the wifey, AKA Mrs. Raspy. Yeah, so right now we're gonna go 2 up on the Amyet S8 and test out the 2-rider capabilities. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's do this. Put the pegs out. And this is what it looks like with her trying to mount the bike. Keep in mind, she's only 4'11" and a half.
I can do this.
How was it?
Not bad. These pegs feel very weak.
She said the pegs feel a little weak. Pretty much passenger pegs aren't meant to put their full weight on them. They're meant to just, you know, relax your feet. So if you have a passenger on there, don't have them stand up on them because that's gonna be too much weight on the pegs. So guys, check out how she's sitting. I can't tell, but is there any space in the back left? Do you have enough space?
It's just, yeah, I'm not off of it.
Okay. And then I, myself, I am all the way up to the front. Like this bag is pretty much, you know, touching me. So just keep that in mind if you want to ride with 2 people. All right, guys, we are 2 up on the Amyet S8. And this thing still has a ton of power. Right now we're using the dual motor mode. If you ride with a passenger, you definitely want to have them hold on to you. Because if you hit that throttle, there's a good chance they might fall back if they're not holding on to you. This thing is still really torquey. It picks up speed, no problem. I'm gonna test out what the single motor feels like. Pulls, but nowhere near as hard as the dual motor. If you're in single mode, the passenger won't feel like you're being pulled back. Even if I crank that throttle, you're gonna feel pretty safe. But if we put that dual motor, hold on. Yeah, if you put that dual motor, I could feel her body wanting to pull away from me. Oh yeah, I can definitely tell. I want to be safe, so I'm not gonna do it, but I can tell that even if you have a passenger in the back, you'll still be able to go over 30 miles per hour. How's your seat feel?
Feels good,
Yeah, this thing is pulling. Oh my gosh. That's 30 miles per hour right there. Oh man. It almost feels like I don't have anyone back there. It's crazy. Dual motors is just amazing. All right, baby, what do you think about this bike?
I think it was good. I like the long seat, wider in the back, so it's more comfortable for the passenger. I know some bikes have a separate seat for the passenger, but I prefer when it's like a longer one. It just feels more comfortable.
How was the power?
It definitely has power.
Yeah, there's a couple times where I thought she was gonna fly off.
A little scary, but yeah, it definitely has power. I can imagine if you're going up a hill, you won't have any issue at all.
All right, thanks for being part of my video. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. And usually at this point, I would go over the pros and cons, but there's not really many cons at this price point. There is one thing that kind of bothers me, and it's worth mentioning, but it's not a huge deal. Every now and then when you're pedaling, sometimes my heel would hit this peg right here. I tried pushing it further back, but I couldn't. And when I'm riding, I just have to remember to angle my feet a little bit. If you have bigger feet, you might hit this more often, but you can always change out the pegs for something else. You might even be able to get away with flipping this peg the other way so that it doesn't rest this way and it folds that way. But with these pegs, they're kind of angled so that you have to put them this way. Aftermarket ones, you might not have to. But that's pretty much it. There's not really any cons with this bike, especially at $9.99 after using my discount code. I think it's a super good deal with all that power it gives you, and it comes with hydraulic brakes and 25 amp hours of battery. But my favorite two aspects is going to be that pulling power with the dual motors running and being able to have a passenger with me. It's always really fun sharing the experience of riding when you have another person back there. So I'm gonna end this video here. If you guys are interested in this bike, please click that link in the description. It helps me out a ton at no cost to you. And also use that $50 discount code to help you lower that price. So if you guys have any comments, leave them down below. Please give this video a thumbs up and a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.